Hello, my name is Ashley, and I'm the owner and creator of Rekindled Kindled. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're rejoining, welcome back. So today's video is going to be about why I started Rekindled Kindled, and while I talk a little bit about it, I'm going to be packing a couple orders that I've already set aside. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 3 boxes for these 3 orders that I pulled. They're 1 and 2 candles, pretty simple to package. So I'm going to grab those boxes, and then I'm going to jump in to why Rekindled Kindled, how, what, all of the reasons why this small business is what it is and what it means to me and what I hope it means to the community. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed a couple boxes and we're gonna just jump right into it. And we're going to start with what? So Rekindled Kindled is a sustainable candle company that focuses on the use of recycled and repurposed glassware to make candles. So glasses like these were once yogurt jars, and I work with families to purchase their pre-used, pre-loved jars, and I turn them into candles. Glasses like these were once drinking glasses, so people no longer no longer needed them, saw a need for them, and needed someone new to love on them. So my goal is to turn them into something that someone sees as valuable again, and using that as a means to continue the life of glassware, because a large portion of glass is not recycled. It ends up in landfills. And if I can be even a small percentage of that number of glass waste being reduced, that's my goal. In addition to that, my goal is to inspire other people to find ways to extend the life of their glassware. So the first order that I'm packaging is actually for someone who's using this candle as a part of a presentation, which is extremely exciting for me and for the small business. So my goal is to quickly package this and get it out. I'm using some packing peanuts, and these I get from when larger warehouse companies like Candle Science, The Flaming Candle, that I buy products from to manufacture candles. When they send me them, I reuse them. So we're going to go ahead and pack this candle. So in addition to what this company is, it's also, for me, a way to create community. My goal is that people are extremely inspired and also feel connected to this brand, because every day I'm working to give more community, to connect us, to create and share stories that hopefully people connect to, because with every candle, with every jar, there was a story. So with every scent that I make comes a story. Because our sense of smell is our closest tie to our memory. We often smell something and we say to ourselves, you know what that reminds me of? And my goal is to give you more opportunities to say, you know what that reminds me of? Or if it's not something you have a memory of, for you to be able to create new and promising memories behind them. So once I go ahead and wrap this up, I'm going to roll it in bubble wrap, which is also recycled. I get a lot of jars from a bunch of different places, and when they send me it using bubble wrap, I just reuse the bubble wrap. It's what works best, so I go ahead and put it in there. Let's see what scent sample. We have Morning Hike. Just go ahead and throw that in there. Look some more. packing peanuts around the side just to give it some protection. On top, we have a scent story card. It goes in a cotton bag that's sent out with the intention of people reusing them. And in this bag is also a sticker and a business card. Go ahead and tie that up, and then it goes on top. And then with this goes a thank you card and a candle care card, and I go ahead and package that up. But I'm just going to move that to the side and go on to the next one. So the next thing is why. Why Rekindled Kindled? It's a name that came to me while I was dreaming, but it had been something that I was thinking about for a while. I had written down every combination of names. Like, how can I communicate in the title of this small business my intentions? And at first, I was going to settle on Rekindled, and then I dreamt Rekindled Kindled. And the idea is communicating, rekindling something through a candle, right? So we have rekindled, and then at the end is kindled. And if you notice the logo, let me go ahead and show this. It's so bright. Right there. Candled is in a circle because the idea is rekindled, rekindled, right? To bring something back to life, to spark a fire, a flame, and it's a candle. So it just felt right. That's where the name came from. It was something that I'd been thinking for a while, came in a dream, and I said, that's perfect. That's it. We're going with that. And that's what happened. Okay, so the next question is how? So I tend to, in order to make this company what it is, it takes a lot of brainstorming, a lot of collaboration, and a lot of community. Because without the community, there is no recycling, you know. I, as a person who lives alone, can only produce so much glassware, and my goal in my home is to reduce waste. So I'm not necessarily consuming things in glassware at the same rate that I was, let's say, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I reach out to families through platforms like eBay, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, all these places where people go to get rid of their things. Sometimes I post a listing, hey, I'm willing to compensate you for your used glassware in these sizes. Because if you notice on my website, the sizes are pretty specific, 4, 8, 12, 16. And those are typically the sizes that things come in, you know. And I can work with things in 5-ounce jars, 10-ounce jars, 14-ounce, 18-ounce, like those. It's pretty flexible in that way. Like when you look at this is an 8-ounce candle, but there's just a little space right there, and that's perfectly fine. This is typically how a candle looks, right? Whether it's filled where there's 2 or 3 centimeters at the top, or 5 or 6. This is typically how a candle looks. So I can work with a bunch of things in order to produce these candles. So partnering with the community and communicating with my friends, hey, when you're done with your jars, don't throw them out. I'm willing to compensate you for them, or they donate them. We just work together to create what this business is. And luckily, I've had a lot of support. I've had a lot of people who are interested in Rekindled Kindled. So what that tells me is that people care about sustainability. People care about the waste that they're creating and the waste that they're producing. So my goal is to raise awareness. How much waste are you putting out, and how can you reduce that waste? And that can just start with you looking around your home and seeing what you're not using enough of. And those things that you would typically throw out, how you can hold on to them, how you can turn them into something new that you can continue the life of, right? Because sustainability is all about starting where you're at. No one wants you to go out and buy a bunch of new things. That is not sustainable, right? You want to see what you have in your home, what you have around that you haven't quite put to good use, that maybe you're thinking about getting rid of, how you can cycle back and turn it into something that you can continue using. And instead of wasting, maybe you might reach out to someone else who needs it or donate it to other sustainable thrifting companies. So this order is Rosemary. It's a scent that is in honor of my mom. She loves roses. She loves the color red, which is interesting because she was so adamant about there being a pink rose on the front. So that was really interesting, but it's what she wanted, and I love her, you know. So honoring her in this way means everything to me. And when people tell me that they love the story, it feels like they're helping me truly like honor the goodness that is my mother, which means everything. You know, sometimes I'll share with her, oh my gosh, this is how someone felt about your scent, and it'll make her really happy, really emotional. And I think she's brought so much good to me, so much good to many people, that it's so nice to be able to give that back to her, to remind her how good she is, how great she is, how much good she is doing and continues to do. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And a lot of my scents are in honor of friends and family and the goodness that they put into the world. Because I don't think we thank people enough for how genuine they are. As a reminder to keep being that way. So, for my mom, she's allowed me to show up in my most authentic self, and thanking her for that. It was a big part of this for me. And then the ways that she showed me how to create community without even knowing, because a lot of this is my mom just being my mom. You know, she didn't wake up and she didn't say, I'm going to show Ashley how to create community. She said, I'm going to bring us together and do all these cool things and make sure that they enjoy it, they being her kids, you know. So I just wanted to be able to bring that out into the world in some capacity, because my mom means so much to me, as many of our moms do. And if you have a broken or fractured relationship with your mother, my hope is that I can share mine with you, and share the beauty that is our relationship through story cards and her smell, you know. So that's something that's extremely major for me. And I have a scent for my dad, and it's something I reached for in, I think, the youngest part of my memory. You know, just like the images that come from being such a small kid in the backseat of my dad's car while he went on these super long drives to provide his services, or to get us back home from a service that he was providing. These memories are just so clear, you know. And my hope is that my story allows you to reach in the depths of your memory and find something similar, something that makes you feel safe and comfortable. And that story is Long Night, right? Being in the back of his car, watching street lights pass, being extremely tired, but also feeling so safe. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and find the box for the third order, and then we're going to jump into the final part of the video. Okay, so I've grabbed the box for the last order, And to avoid this video getting too long, I'm going to tell you my hopes of what this business would become. So for a long time, I've wanted to create a safe space for so many people. And this craft paper is something that I use when I don't use bubble wrap. I pad the boxes pretty tight, extremely tight. Sorry, it's really loud. And this is recycled craft paper. I purchased it from a really awesome company, and in the future I'm going to do a video on really awesome businesses that specialize in providing sustainable packaging for small businesses or large businesses, really any business. So like biodegradable packaging items or recycled packaging items. But that's going to be something that happens in the future. Anyway, so my goal for Rekindled Kindled is for a lot of people to be inspired, for them to really think about their waste and how they can reduce it. And that can start small, right? And a lot of people do make the efforts. It's just not knowing that next step, you know, where do I go from here? And I would like this to become a platform, a place where people can figure out what next, where next, how do I continue this, right? Because we all have really good intentions. It's just lack of knowledge, you know, lack of research. And I hope this becomes a place where people do research, a place where people can turn and feel okay continuing the life of their glass. I do have people reach out and say, like, how can we support? And the biggest way that you can support is by thinking about your usage of glassware, right? And how you can reduce that, whether that be allowing us to compensate you for your jars, or if you want to donate them, send them out to us, and we send you a candle, things of that nature, or a discount on a future order. So how can we all come together and continue this process? Because it's definitely something that I've been invested in. It's something I'm committed to continuing for as long as I can, you know, as long as it's accessible. And I would like for the community to really feel safe here, to really feel like, okay, this experience is beautiful, you know. I can get a candle and I can feel okay about it, because we all deserve luxury. We all deserve to feel pampered and celebrated. And I think candles play a major role in that, you know, setting the atmosphere, creating mood, creating space for ourselves. One of my earlier blogs on my website talk about how candles create space, right? You can transform any space with a candle. The scent that comes and fills a space becomes whatever it is, whatever you want it to be, whatever it's tied to in your memory, and whatever memories you want to create tied to that scent. And it's always something that you can tap back into as you move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and finish packing this candle and just talk through the process before I close out this video. So, like I said, these were once drinking glasses right here. You can't really see them, but they're right here. I'm going to go ahead and finish packaging. And I just like to create a nice barrier on the bottom just to make sure the candles are safe while they're in transit. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap them up like I did everything else. They get a nice wrapping. And once they're wrapped, because they don't get bubble wrap, you know, they just go right on in. So you lay it nice and flat, and then go ahead and do the other one. And as I continue to work with jars, as I continue to learn new parts of this craft, I would like to be able to start working with more jars, because, you know, with candle making is very fragile. You know, it's extremely important that you truly learn the process for what makes a good candle, especially if you want to give people a good experience and remind them that in sustainability there is like pleasure. So I never want to give anyone like a bad experience with candle burning, you know, because there are some candles that aren't amazing, like, and I never want that to be my candle. So I do a lot of research, do a lot of testing, and make sure that my candles are great, you know. So now that these are in here and there's space on all sides, I'm going to go ahead and put in a scent sample, and then I'm going to do exactly what I just did with the top. So we're going to rip off 2 pieces of paper. And these tend to last. I buy a couple of them at a time, and they tend to last a good amount of time before I have to get new ones. So crunch it up so it creates like a nice padding. You know, you don't want it flat because then it defeats the purpose of using it. So once you ball it up, you uncrumple it, and then you go ahead, sorry you can't see me, and fold it a little, you know, like this, and then put it on top. Do that. And I realize my doing that causes the camera to shake, but I also think that's okay. Push that forward. Scent samples are going to go inside. Go ahead and pull that. Go ahead and pull that nice and tight. Tuck that in. That goes on top, along with the thank you card. I've started by writing her name. I'm going to continue my note off camera, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I went ahead and finished packaging these 3 orders. Thank you so much for joining, for watching the entire video. I hope that you really enjoyed the story of this small business. I hope that you can find some way to support or to reevaluate your glass waste and your waste in general. Thank you so much. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like down below. Subscribe if you're interested in staying around, and leave me a comment on some things you would like to see in the future. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and finish packaging orders, and I will catch you all in the next one.